Hello, everybody. Welcome to another live stream. My name is Great Eagle, some pilot of my real world A320 captain, bringing my love for aviation and flight simulation to all your wonderful people out there. How's everyone doing this morning, this afternoon, this evening, wherever you are in the world? Hopefully, you're having a fantastic day. Today we'll kick off the last day of what has been a pretty busy week of streaming here on the channel. We will end it with some JetBlue ops down to DC, and we'll return back on American Airlines for the last flight with a little tour of something special once we get back here to Providence later on this evening. So without further ado, let's get right to it. We'll hop on into the flight deck. I have the aircraft powered up here. We've imported our flight plan. Let's go ahead and begin the boarding process, shall we? We'll load up. Actually, before I do loading, cancel. Before I do loading, let me make sure SimBrief has the correct SimBrief, or GSX has the correct SimBrief in there. Updated. There we go. Excellent. And now we can go ahead and begin boarding our aircraft, GSX, and refueling. Excellent. Now that that's going, let's go ahead and go to the overhead, get IRs 1, 2, and 3 online. Now the flight control panel looks good. We'll come all the way down to the recorder panel here. We'll get the recorder ground control on and test the CVR. Hold on. Let me bring up the sim volume. There we go. Now let's test the CVR. There we go. That sounds good. We'll go ahead and continue all the way down. Everything else looks good here. The wipers are off. We'll go ahead and test our engine fire 1. Excellent. APU. And engine fire 2. All looks good. Hydraulic panel is all set. Our fuel panel is all set there. Electrical panel looks good. Our air conditioning panel is all set. NAI should be an auto, or sorry, all the lights should be extinguished, so off. Preheat should be an auto. Cabin pressurization is an auto with a ditching switch extinguished and guarded. Let's see. Today is an even day, so we'll go to system 2. For our nav lights, all the other lights look good. We'll go ahead and start getting that APU cranking here. Seatbelt sign is off. No smoking is on. While RMV emergency exit lights will come over to the first officers overhead. The observer's ACP should be PA out into the 3 o'clock position. RMP3 should be in VHF 3 with the data in the active. Our flight controls look good. Cargo ventilation and smoke all look good. Our ventilation panel is checked. Our engine start panel, our engine panel here is checked. And of course, the windshield wipers are off. Coming on down to the glare shield here. From left to right, all of our push buttons are extinguished. We have the flight director on. Let me go ahead and check the latest ATIS. Wrong airport. Let's try that again. ATIS, VATSIM.
It's JetBlue 3318 on the frequency.
Affirmative, JetBlue 3318 is still with you.
JetBlue 3318, give me 5 minutes, please. I've just got to go to the toilet.
Oh, yeah, no problem. We're just now boarding up for JetBlue 3318.
Roger, thank you.
Excellent. Well, what a courteous guy. He advised that he advised me when he was going to go to the restroom. Okay, 3015. That is the current altimeter setting. So, flight director, current altimeter setting, constraints, arc to nautical miles. We don't need a VR or ADF. Coming over to the FCU here, we're looking for numbers or digits with heading, vertical speed, and all the other push buttons extinguished. On the first officer CFIS panel, we don't need the VR or ADF. 10 nautical miles arc constraint. The current QNH 3015, and the flight director's on with all of his push buttons on his clear shield are extinguished. We can go ahead and dim the PFD and ND just a little bit there. Excellent. So we have the PFD on the left, ND on the right. The ISIS is aligned. Our upper and lower ECAM displays are in the correct orientation. Brake fans off, landing gears down 3 green. Any skid nose steering is on. The correct date and time are displayed here. There, that looks good. The landing gear is down with no red arrow. That looks good on the first officer's instrument panel. The ND's on the left, their PFD's on the right. I'm going to back off that brightness just a bit there. Excellent. We can come on down to the center console, the center pedestal here. Got A321-200 with the V2533-85 engines, and the database is current. We'll go ahead to the init page here and begin that initialization. We got ground up with CTAF and standby. Tower isn't on, so we just have ground. ECP looks good. Lighting is set how we like it. The radar is off and the predictive wind shear is off. We'll do an OSO check here. Oil looks good. Our hydraulics are all within the fuel range. No class 2 status messages. And our oxygen is at 1800 psi. Let's go ahead and hold the recall button to see if we have any recalled messages. Nope. We'll go ahead and clear that out. Looks good. Coming on down here, we want to make sure our THS is at 0. Thrust levers at idle. Engine masters are off. Engine mode is norm. Speed brakes are disarmed. Flaps are up. The rudder is showing digits in the window there with our gravity gear extension in the stowed position. The FO's FMGC, I'm going to make sure they're both showing the same database, same airplane. I got them on a load sheet page for now. That looks good. The RMP is set. I got them on VHF1, so that's good. ECP is set. His lights are set. And we get a squawk code of 7304. I get that on so he can see us here. Excellent. So we can go ahead and get right into programming our FMGC here. We're going to be JetBlue 3318, 3318. Going from Providence, D.C. Richmond as our alternate. Going to be a cost index of 8. Cruising altitude is 34,000 feet. Current ground temperature is 17 degrees. It has cooled off a lot since a few days ago. There we go. We'll go over to our next page here. Let's see. Zero fuel weight. We're looking for a zero fuel weight of 158.7. So nope, that's not the right one. That's not the right unit. 158.7 with a zero fuel weight CG of 26.4%. We'll go ahead and insert that in the first line there. Oh, nope, I did something wrong. Let's try that one more time. 158.7. Maybe I think I got that first number wrong. Slant 26.4. I do not know what I got wrong the first time, but there we go. 16.3 is going to be our block fuel. We'll do a route reserve of 0%. There, an alternate time will be 3.1. There we go. We'll go ahead and put that in there. Excellent. Everything else looks good there. Sounds like we have one other person going down to DC. I think he stepped away from the computer there real quick. He'll be back in just another minute or two.
Thank you very much.
Let's see. Departure off of runway 5.
Your patience. I've returned call and ready to push.
No, I think Blue Streak was calling for a clearance.
Oh, sorry. Give me a second. So I've just come back.
There are no SIDS. Let's see. We pretty much have asphalt, so we go jumper, rifle, Q167. We'll take that to ZZ, however you say that. Just right there. Then direct to Nook, direct ATR, and then direct to Laughlin for the Dealey 3 into DCA. So let's go ahead and put the arrival in there. They're using runway 1. We'll do ILS.
Yeah, we've
Delay 3.
ADC now. Thanks.
Laughlin.
6548.
We'll insert that. We have the nav accuracy upgrade. That looks good. Let's go ahead while we're down here. Let's just verify our route now that we already have a clearance. So I have that on plan, 10 nautical miles. And there is no SID, so we'll just radar vector ourselves over to Jumper. From Jumper, we'll we'll go direct to Rifle, sorry. It says Q167. It says Jumper direct to Rifle. Why does it have the Quebec Airway in there? I have no clue, but that's the only fix between the two. We'll take that all the way to ZZ. There's ZZ, and then from ZZ direct to Nuke. Nuke direct to ATR. ATR direct to Laughlin. And then that is going to be the transition on the Delay 3 arrival. And we have 378 miles in the box, 393 for our flight plan. So that checks out there. Let's go to the initialization wins. We'll uplink our wins performance. I've already did the performance, and yes, I did do a landing assessment as well to make sure we'll be able to land with the runway we have available. And yes, we do have the braking action to land there, so we should be good all the way up to max landing weight. So let's go ahead and send this over to the McDo. There we go. We got 143, 149, 150 with a flex 49 flaps 2. That looks good. Winds are uplinked. We'll go over to our descent page. We'll do a 290 knot descent. Excellent. And then lastly, we shall copy our active. There we go. That all looks good there. So now that that's complete, let's go back up to our overhead. IRs are definitely in line. The recorder ground control is on to catch our checklist. The EFIS is set. I'll put that back in arc 10 nautical miles. We have the correct altimeter setting in there. We'll turn on the terrain on ND. Brakes are set. Let me do a quick... Oops, I accidentally hit that. Let me do a quick alternate brake check here. So parking brakes released. Both pedals are pressed. Release the left. Release the right. Press it back down. Excellent. Both look good. We'll set that parking brake over again. We'll go ahead and check our triple indicator. Looks good. We have the parking brake memo there. That looks good. ACP and RMP are set. Let's go to data. Position monitor. And let's bring up... no. Yep. This is what we're looking for. So we're looking for 41... 43.4, 41, 43.5, and 071, 25.7, 071, 26.1. That's close enough for us. The end date looks good. On the PFD, we have V1, V2, climate naver blue, flight directors 1 and 2, and let's go ahead and check the oxygen. That all sounds good. We can go over to our Ghost FO and ask if he's ready for a briefing. He says, yeah, he's ready for a briefing. What are your threats? Departing out of Providence. Really, we only have ground control on, so that's the only ATC we have. So that's the biggest threat. Everything else is going to be pretty straightforward. We will taxi out to runway 5 via Tango Mike 1. Plan on doing a flaps 2 flex with standard reject considerations. Do you have any questions about what we need to reject for? Nope. In the event of an engine failure after V1, we'll continue straight ahead to about 4,000 feet, clean up the aircraft, work the ECAM, and plan a return to 5. If we need more runway, we'll head up to Boston. Otherwise, 4,000 feet our top altitude. Our departure frequency, well, I have CTAF set in standby, and we're squawking 7304. Any questions? No. No other questions to add there. Excellent. We are done refueling. Let's go up top. Get our fuel pumps on. Hide that real quick. External power can come off. APU bleed can come on. Seatbelt sign can come on. Sounds like we have finished boarding up here. Fuel, we're checking that it is on board, balanced with the pumps going. Hydraulics are all within our fill range. Pressurization, we're looking for auto with the correct landing elevation, and we still have enough oil to complete our flight. Let's do a before start checklist. Recorded ground control is on. Our flight forms and a maintenance log on board. Reviewed aircraft 981. Fuel quantity 16.3 required, 16.3 on board. Takeoff performance, we have 143. 149, 150 with a flex of 49. Oxygen checked. Seatbelt sign on. ACAM checked. Park brake is on and checked. MCDU is set. Altimeters 3015 set thrice. Departure briefings review. The before start checklist is complete. Max Reason says, howdy. Hi, Max Reason. How are you doing there? Let's go ahead and bring the airport diagram back up. And I think we are completely done with the boarding process, says our final load sheet here. We'll go ahead and accept that. 158.8. And we have a 26.4, so that all looks good. Alrighty. Well, I'll slide this over here. Been waiting for this one. I'm ready for the smasher you're going to have in DC. Yeah, we will see how that's gonna work. Should be a fun one. They are landing north in DC as well, so that should be definitely fun. A fun landing there. Wish they were kind of landing south so we could do the river visual, but that's okay. Let's see. I do need to call them, let them know we are ready for push and start. Or I should really turn the beacon light on so that I can see. Or so that they can see. There we go. 2, 4, 6, 8 doors are armed. We shall close the cabin door there. And let's go ahead and request a pushback, shall we? The ground JetBlue 3318 is ready for push and start. Gate 8.
JetBlue 3318, push approved.
Push is approved for JetBlue 3318. Alrighty, so our pushback is approved. We'll do nose to the left. Continue our pushback. Nose to the left. There might be something I have to do here. Did I forget the disconnect stuff? I think I did. Ground power, GPU. Boom. There we go. Brakes are released. We're clear to push. We will start at will. There we go. Very nice livery. The what is it called? The Royal Treatment. Get it? Because they have the mint suites on their aircraft. All right, let's start engine 1, shall we? Yeah, Max, we're seeing a lot of people are afraid to take the 321, especially the Sharklet, into the short runways like DC and LaGuardia. But in reality, you see them in both airports like all the time. So it is a thing, but you just gotta kind of know what you need to do to get it on the ground. So we'll see. Hopefully I don't float it too much, and it'll be a great landing. All the good vibes. We got the good vibes going for this one. Let's go ahead and start engine number 2 here. Brake set, clear to disconnect the interphone. Thanks for the pushback. Have a great day. All right. The truck is going the wrong direction. You're just gonna yeet off into the grass. Okay. No, okay, they're going the right direction. Thought they were just gonna drive off into the sunset there. Alrighty. Guy is showing me the flag. I'm gonna acknowledge his flag. Hopefully he waves goodbye, goodbye. I give him a nice little salute. Let's go flaps 2. After start checklist. Engine anti-ice we don't need. The status is checked. Our rotor trim is at 0. The after start checklist is complete. Let's go ahead and just do a flight control check here. Why don't we? Let's go ahead and go full up. Full down. Neutral. Full left. Full right. Neutral. Rotor pedals. Full left, full right, neutral. And just like I promised, I put the rotor pedals on a 20% curve today. So we'll see if I notice a slight difference with how the aircraft performs during taxi and landing. So we have our auto brakes over to max. Our Mac takeoff CG is 26.7%. So that's going to be right about, I'm going to think about right there. We'll put the predictive wind shear on, do a takeoff config check. There we go. Let's go ahead and run a before takeoff checklist, shall we? Our flaps, we have 2 planned and 2 indicated. Takeoff data and speeds are all checked. Our weight, wrong button there. Really? You went all the way back there? There we go. Weight. It's going to be 175.0. Looking at, yeah, that's what I wanted. 174.5. The stab trim. There we go. 26.7%. 26.7%. Flight controls are checked. ECAM memo is takeoff cabin blue. We are to the line. Flight ground JetBlue 3318 ready to taxi. I don't remember what the information was.
Runway 5, taxi via Tango, then right on Mike.
Runway 5, Tango Mike, JetBlue 3318. There we go. Tango Mike, just like we planned. I'll go ahead and bring up the tablet so we have something to follow along with. And of course, you can already tell, so I have not moved the thrust levers at all, and compared to last night where I was taxiing around at almost 30% just to get 10 knots out of the airplane with the CFMs, the IAEs, I haven't moved the thrust levers at all, and we're already moving. So that tells me that yes, they have the what do they call it, the engine the separate engine something or another. I forget what Fenix calls it. External engine model. There we go. External engine model. That the CFMs and IEs are treated differently on their ground idle. Just something different about it. I have no clue what. But, you know, in real life, it would be just like this. You release the brake and you just start rolling, depending on how light you are. If you're really heavy, 321 in the summertime, you're going to need some breakaway thrust. But usually once after you put that breakaway thrust in there, you should keep going. The Airbus does like to taxi at idle thrust pretty nicely. I think one of the issues is the okay, there we go. I might like 20% more. 20% seems like a good rate of curve right now.
3318, monitor advisory, have great flight, sir.
Well, monitor CTAF, thanks for the ETC. Have a great evening and happy FSExpo weekend to you, sir.
Thank you, you too.
Alrighty, we have CTAF up. We'll just monitor that. Slow it down for our turn here. Kind of a cloudy, blah, overcast day here in Providence, which I'm sure is a nice, a welcome change compared to the clear skies and 90-degree weather they were experiencing here a few days ago. It is impressive how in just the span of a few days it can go from being, what was it, around noon just a few days ago? It was like 30, 35, 36 degrees, down to 17 degrees. It's a 20-degree change in just a few days. Alrighty, let's finish up the before takeoff checklist, shall we? Below the line, runway and FMS, we put that there, put you here. Runway 05 in the box on the screen and out the window, that is checked. Men takeoff fuel, 14.7 is required. We have 15.9 on board. Flight attendants, let's go ahead and notify them. Flight attendants, prepare for takeoff. Notified. Engine mode is norm. TCAS will be over at TARA. The before takeoff checklist is complete. There we go. Get rid of you. We'll be taxiing to the end now. Yeah, the aircraft feels a lot better on the rudder pedals. At least taxiing around, we'll see as you're screaming along at 145 knots how badly it feels, but right now I'm not mad about it. Feels like we must be going uphill. Give it a little power. That's the one thing about the simulator that's super hard. It's very hard to tell if you're going up or down a hill. The only way to really know is, did you slow down, or are you speeding up, or are you just keeping a constant speed? To be fair, if you're on a level surface, you'd be accelerating anyway, but at a slower rate than if you were going downhill. There we go. We have plenty of time on the engines. Go ahead and get rid of that. Well, I don't see anyone on final. Don't hear anyone reporting to be on final. No one's on the runway. So, we'll just get on out of here. Providence area traffic. JetBlue 3318 will be departing runway 05. Will be departing the pattern to the south. Providence area traffic. I think it's to the south. Mostly to the south. Yeah, it is south. There we go. Jumper south of us. I'll probably make a right-hand turn. Go out to jumper. Sounds about right. Alrighty, we'll go up top. Let the flight attendants know we're taking the runway. I'll turn up the sim volume for you all. There we go. Alright, let's go ahead and get out of here. 1.05 on the EPR. I'll continue my lineup here. Half down on the side stick. Looks good. Lux. The rest set. $80 checked. V1, rotate. Positive rate, gear up. Feels a lot more stable today, a lot more stable. Climb set. Providence area traffic. JetBlue 3318, 1800 will be turning to the south, departing the pattern to the south. Providence area traffic. Flaps 1. Alrighty, let's go ahead and get direct to jumper in there. We'll insert that. Excellent. A little bit of a rain shower just north of the airport there. That's quite alright. Bring the volume back down to a more reasonable level now. Should get that auto retract happening. Flaps up after takeoff checklist. Beautiful. Well, let's continue our climb all the way up to 34, shall we? Yep. There we go. 34. That is set open climb. Beautiful. Check your temp. Temps are good. We don't need to turn the anti-ice on for now. And let's go ahead and switch to 122.8. There we go. We got Unicom up at this time. Beautiful. Because I triggered a descent, it decided to... Okay, that's weird. Alright, put it back in the climb phase again. For some reason, a descent phase was triggered when I did when I selected a lower altitude. That's quite alright. Put it back in the climb phase. Hopefully we get a nice little breakout here. There we go. Are we going to get the breakout? Are we going to get the breakout? No, not quite. Alrighty, climbing through 10, what I'm going to do is... I'll turn the lights off, but I'm not going to... I'll bring the brightness up a little bit, too. I'll turn the lights off, but I won't ding... I won't let them know we're at a sterile until I can almost assure that we're going to be above these cloud tops here. So I'll go ahead and get the autopilot on. Excellent. Not much to see on this departure out of... Providence, kind of a little bit of a rainy day up in the northeast there. That's quite all right. Again, with the temperature in the back being so insanely hot, bring it down just a little bit. See if that does anything there. The rest of the airplane has a nice, comfortable temperature, except that. Oh, I never actually completed the after takeoff checklist. I was so busy hand flying. Landing gear is up. There are no lights. Flaps are all up, and we have differential pressure. After takeoff checklist is complete. Excellent. I'm hoping for that breakout soon. We shall see. So pretty much what I'm trying to do is climb as best as I can until we top all these clouds, and then once we top all the clouds, then we shall accelerate. I mean, not the breakout I was hoping for, but still a breakout nonetheless. Probably after this last build up, we should be past the worst of it. I'll probably let them know we're at a sterile at that point, because usually that sterile ding is their cue to begin in-flight drinks, snackies, food for sale, all that fun stuff. There we go. Not too bad. I'll probably still hold on to the 250 for a few more 1,000 feet. I just really want to top all these clouds as soon as I can. If I really wanted to, I'd be doing like 270. But I want best angle. I want to get out of this. In fact, if I really wanted to, you just hit the expedite button. But really don't want to do that right now. See how close green dot. So if you hit the expedite button, that's going to take you right down to green dot. In fact, let's go ahead and do that. We'll hit expedite. That's going to take us right down to green dot here. That's going to give us a nice little climb, but it's only going to give it to us for like a little bit, and then our vertical speed is going to come right back down to like 2,000 feet per minute while our hook is still climbing up. So you want to be careful when you use that expedite function. For transition standard, set once, set twice, and set thrice there. Beautiful. This is where an A319 would be awesome to fly, because you just rocket right above all these clouds and keep on going. I'm going to brighten all these displays up just a little bit more. Yeah, usually how I rocket is I keep the outer ring all the way up, because the inner ring display will dim both your weather radar / terrain on ND and the whole display as a whole. So whereas this you can turn this all the way down. You don't want to have that all the way down. You always want to keep that all the way up, because this one controls both. And if you have that all the way down and oh no, oh come on, seriously, I was gonna have to do a whole self-test anyway. Oh, there we go. So if no, I'm trying to do the outer ring. All right, there we go. Where if you have this all the way down, and let's say you have the radar on trying to look for weather, nothing's gonna paint here. So that's why they want you to keep this all the way up and just use this to modulate the brightness. All right, we're above everything. We can go ahead and manage that climb up now. And that's how you would take it out of expedite. You don't hit the expedite button again. That's not going to take it out of expedite. That is an on button. It's not an on-off button. It's just an on button. Unlike this, it's an on-off button, right? So you can turn it off by pressing it. You can turn it on by pressing it. So this is just an on button. If I hit expedite and I hit it again, it doesn't turn off. It's just expedite. So you have to select a different form of climb in order to get out of the expedited mode. Alrighty, let's go ahead and let them know we are through our sterile now. It is safe for them to get up and move about the cabin. And let's go ahead and get some in-flight music going, shall we? Hopefully everyone out there is having a fantastic day. Even though it's not as beautiful up here in the Northeast, it still is a beautiful day to be out flying, especially once you get above the clouds. Let me go ahead and turn all my displays up. It is very sunny out here. That might be too bright. That's quite alright. I'm gonna turn the volume down just a little bit so we don't blow our ears when we go outside. Excellent. There we go. I do love the JetBlue liveries they have. I like how JetBlue doesn't stick to one tail. So they have their logo, which is a lowercase j, capital B, JetBlue. But each tail almost each tail. They do have, you know, their standard. I guess they have a standard livery, but they do something different with each tail on their airplane. So I think that's really cool, really unique, and I also like that right up on the front of the aircraft they give each airplane like its own little name, almost like the Frontier airplanes. How they have like the different animals on the back, and then the animal you see the name on the front of the airplane. I think that's really cool. Gives the airplane a unique character, persona, if you will. Oh, no, that's why. Okay, let's go back up front. I have the wrong view save there. Let's see. Let's move you up. Nope, nope. Yeah, about right there. There we go. That's why when I kept hitting, I was like, what was that view? What's that view? Okay. That's the view it should be. That's the view I was going for. Ooh, that's some radar. Should really rethink how they do the colors on their radar. Because the coloring just doesn't make sense to me. I get it, like the more reddish, orangish, yellowish things are, that's where the heaviest precip is, but it's like, doesn't seem intuitive. It's like all the colors are a neon color. There, Ed E says, hey there guys, how are you doing? Ed E, welcome to the Eagle's Nest. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Like, just to show you what I'm looking at here, I guess we did fly through a little bit of rain. It's alright, but if I were to bring this over, you kind of see, like, VetSim radar, like the colors just look weird. It should be red, yellow, green. I don't know what this greenish, bluish, purplish stuff is, but what is this? I wonder if there's a way I can change that. The look of that, because that is not a good looking thing at all. Map. I can look at segment. No. That's silly. 50%? I don't know. Nope. Alright. That didn't do anything for me. Layers? Oh, is it under colors? No. Alrighty, well, I'm not too sure. Gotta change stuff. There's a lot of options that go through there. But that is what it is. I'm not going to spend too much time worrying about that. It's just nice to see, be able to see who's online and what the conga line is. Last night was an absolutely crazy conga line going up to Providence. XP72 had a massive conga line going in. So that was nice that he was doing that, because we at least had some ATC services on the line. Eddie says, thanks, yeah. I'm getting close to my top of descent in the Fenix to Phoenix. Excellent, Eddie. Hopefully it's not too hot out there. Get those brick fans ready to go, especially if you're in a 321. Get those brick fans ready to go, good sir. Hopefully you've been enjoying the Phoenix there, Eddie. I know you had some issues with it trying to dropping the navigation or something like that with the FMS. It didn't want to navigate on it. Hopefully it hasn't given you any more issues here in the last few weeks. Which where are you flying the Phoenix from? Are you online, or are you just simming just the sim? Because sometimes I do like to sim just the sim. I don't see anyone flying into Phoenix on VATSIM. You say it's been flying smooth. Excellent. Glad it's been treating you well, because when it works well, it is such a fun aircraft to fly, let me tell you. Ooh, picking up a little turbulence here through... what altitude is this? 30,000 feet? A little bit of turbulence. Hopefully we can climb right above that, in fact. In fact, let's trade some speed for some altitude, shall we? Would you... I don't understand. You'll switch over to Mach at 20,000 feet, but then you won't let me switch over to Mach here. Would you stop it? Stop it. Yeah, let's trade some speed for some altitude here and see if that will hopefully get us above this little turbulence layer. We can only do that because we're light enough to do it, and eek, might hold it in airspeed now. Well, this is no fun, especially if you're a passenger. Let's see what the wing looks like. Trying to see if the load alleviation, you can kind of, it's ever so subtle, you can kind of see the load alleviation kicking in, where the spoilers are doing just a tad bit of work there to alleviate the load on the wing. Yeah, that's very interesting to see. Although, to be fair, I'm like, is that the load alleviation or is that just the aircraft trying to keep itself right side up? Usually in stuff like this is where the load alleviation would kick in to reduce the load on the wings. Let's go ahead and see. Oh, you're flying in from Texas. Nice, nice, Eddie. Nice little, what is that? About a 2-hour flight? 2.5-hour flight there. We're about to level off here at flight level 340. Do not know why it's keeping, well, that's because I selected speed. Let's switch it over to Mach 0.76 right now, and we'll hold it right just there until we can get some smooth air. We're at a cruising altitude. That looks good. And for some reason it's already trying to bring in DC. I guess we are within 250 miles, huh? We'll go ahead and turn on the LS push buttons there. Excellent. We have a ways to go before we're actually on the arrival, but hey, it doesn't hurt to review the arrival a little early. So let's go ahead and bring that up. The weather, real world weather here. They're departing on 1, 4, and 3-3. Arrival on 1 and 3-3. No, we are not going to be landing on 3-3. Let's see. Winds are 100 at 6. They're still using, okay, they're still using 1. Alright. That's fine. We can do that, I think, maybe. Let's go ahead. Flight plan. We'll verify everything I got planned. 10 nautical mile ring on there. Zoom that out just a tad bit. Excellent. So we enter the star at Laughlin, which is right here. And then built is going to be at 11,000. Or billet. And then dealing is at 10,280 knots. Then what is that? Yuck. 10,000. And Tirza at or below 8,000. High tech is at 7,000. And then MIDI. And then we'll swing around and pick up the ILS back northbound. I get the Mount Vernon in there. We'll probably just do the ILS. Super easy. Mount Vernon, it's nice when you have two people because you're still trying to configure and all that kind of fun stuff while hand flying. So what we'll do, we'll just do the ILS since we'll be configuring and trying to fly the airplane at the same time. But we have Katrin at or above 2,500 feet. Then Batten's at or above 1,600 feet. Boop. Let me just bring that up. There we go. Excellent. And then from Baden to the runway is about 5 miles. 3, 4.5. Yeah, it rounds up to 5 miles. 3-degree glide slope. For the missed approach, climbing to 420. Then a climbing left turn on a 325 radial to Georgetown. And we'll hold there. And let's see. What I need to do is let's go fix info. We need P, L, V, I, and A. So the easiest way to remember this is all Roman numerals except the A and the P. So prohibited area 56 P56 PLIVA. There we go. Oh, I got that wrong. Oh, that's right. So PLVIA 5656 Alpha. So if you plop that in there, put a 1 mile ring around it, and that's the airspace you need to stay out of. So in this case, what we'll do is we'll just fly the published miss. If we have the engine failure miss procedure is pretty much going to be the same thing. 325 radial off of DCA, fly that, and that will keep you out of this area. If you're visual, you never want to go, past the northern side of the riverbank here, because that can get you into this prohibited area of the National Mall. That's what that is, the National Mall. And then you have the 56B. I think that's where the White House is. So yeah, you don't want to fly into that, because then you're going to have fighter jets scrambled, and then you got reports to file, and it's just no fun. So we have that all set up. Let's see. We have IDCA 109.9, IDCA 109.9. 006 is the final approach course. 007 close enough. 3-degree glide slope. That looks good. Wrong button there. Let's go KDCA 01. And let's go ahead and set up our performance here. 100 at 6. And I'm going to probably do a landing assessment, since the ones are 100 at 6 as well. Very interesting. Temperature is 34 degrees. And the QNH 3000, I'll set that in here. Then I will set it once. There we go, twice. And thrice. Excellent. It's kind of smoothed out a little bit. I'll move it up to 7.8. We'll see how it's like. I'll take a set of plan. Bring my range back up again. Beautiful. It's still a little bumpy out, but I mean, it's not the smoothest. We'll leave the seatbelt sign on. And I won't go faster than 7.8 because of how bumpy it is out right now. Let's go ahead and work on that landing assessment, shall we? We'll go in here, arrival performance DC 01. Let's go ahead and apply the METAR 0. It's not 0304. You are not right. What did I say the weather was? 100 at 6. There we go. It is now 34 degrees. I think I said it's 34 degrees. I do not know where this is getting its METAR from, but it is what it is. And then 3000. Stop it. Why is it doing that? What is going on? What is this thing doing? There's literally nothing. What is going on? I have no clue what's going on. It's just reading straight zeros. There's literally... Why are you doing this? regardless if numlock is on or off. Anyone know why this tablet is just freaking out all of a sudden? Go away. Go away. We'll use the FO tablet. Let's see. FO tablet. Makes no sense. 100 at 6, 34 degrees, 3000. Excellent. Our landing weight will take worst case scenario, which is 168. That looks like 168.8. Excellent. 168.8. Medium. I need DCA, don't I? So in total, 6,358 feet of runway. Slight tailwind. So that's going to affect our ability to land as well. There is a slight tailwind. Right, I'll bring you up. But I just can't use things with numbers for some reason. We will go ahead and... what is the bottom side here? Because we are quickly approaching our top of descent. 7,000 at high tech. So let's go ahead and put 7,000 in there. We are in a cruise phase, correct? Yes, we are in cruise. So we'll put 7,000 in there. I usually like beginning my descent about 20 miles out. So let's go ahead and we'll manage our speed up and we'll manage up our altitude. Check on this company message real quick. No ADC required. Excellent. And we can ask our Ghost FO if he's ready for a briefing. He says, yep, he's ready for a briefing. Excellent. What are your threats in there coming into DC? Well, it's a short runway. We're in a sharklet. We have the prohibited area, and because of the prohibited area, we have a special engine failure path to take us out and away from the prohibited area there. And possibly a short taxi into the gate. Yeah, I would agree with all those threats. We did a landing assessment. We do have the landing performance for the missed approach. In case we do lose an engine, we will just follow the published miss. That should keep us out of the restricted area. And we'll take it nice and slow on the ground. We both have reviewed the arrival. The first restriction here is going to be built at 11,000. Bottom side is going to be high tech at 7,000. 200, so just 7,000 feet. There's no speed restriction there. Plan on doing a visual. We'll back it up with the ILS to runway 1. Chart 11-1, dated 17 February 23. The frequency is 109.9007 as the final approach course. Patents at 1600. DA is 214. I forgot to put the DA in there. There we go. Batten is 214. Touchdown zone elevation 14 feet. The MSA around the VOR is 2,600 feet. For the miss approach, let's plan on doing a soft go around if we need to go miss. Climbing to 420, then a climbing left turn to 220, and outbound on the DCA 325 radial to Georgetown and to be in hold. Let's see. None of those notes apply to us. Pappy's on our right, ALSF2 lighting. And when we do land, did I say our landing configuration? Full flaps, medium auto brakes this time. And when we do land, plan on, if we can make it, a left turn on 33, probably Sierra is what we'll do. Sierra or Juliet. And then we'll take Juliet on end to gate 30. I think it is. And let's see if this will cooperate with me. Gate 30. Come on, just load in. No, you're not going to cooperate. Awesome. Lovely. Okay. Okay, that's where it is. So gate 30 is going to be closer to spot 1 right here. It's on this pier. So this is gate 30. Somewhere right here is where we'll park. And call that a day. A few hotspots there. If we get off at the Juliet, we have the Hold Bay, Juliet, Sierra, and Kilo. If we get off on 33 and turn around on Juliet, then we have Kilo, Lima, Juliet, and November. So we'll make sure we continue on Juliet and then turn in at Kilo 1 into the ramp there. So that should be perfectly fine. Or sorry, no. It's this one, spot 1. So we'll continue down Juliet and then probably Kilo 2 into the ramp, something like that. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Anything else you want to add to that? Nope. Excellent. Well, in that case, let me do an arrival lavatory break, and I will be right back. I will leave you with some sort of view while I am gone here. There we go. We got something there. And I'll be right back. Quick arrival lavatory break. There we go. Lavatory breaks are so much easier on Flight Sim than they are in the real world. While I'm thinking about it, let's go ahead and see what is the CTAF frequency for DCA. 19.1. Let's go ahead and pre-select that as well. There we go. So you should also see that Auto Brakes Medium does a pretty good job at stopping the aircraft, which is why I rarely use Auto Brake Medium. The only time I really use it is when we're coming into the short runways. Otherwise, it's either Auto Brakes Low or Auto Brakes Off, one of the two. Especially if we have a really long runway, then it's probably going to be an Auto Brakes Off landing. So I can just gently get on the brakes there, make it a nice, comfortable deceleration for the passengers. When you get Auto Brakes Medium, your passengers are going to start leaning forward. It's pretty aggressive. And then Max is I've only experienced that once as a passenger, and let me tell you, you will stop. There's no messing around when the auto brakes are at max. You will stop that airplane really quickly. Those brakes will also get really hot really quickly too. So, you know, that's the auto brakes do a really good job stopping the airplane. And then the Neos, even better, because they slightly changed the logic and the BCSU, or the BSCU, brake steering control unit. They changed the logic a little bit in there in terms of when the auto brakes engage. And to me, I can't find it anywhere in their manuals, but it feels like even at low, they engage at a slightly higher force, or it should be the way Airbus does it is rate of deceleration. So I think the rate of deceleration is increased just a little bit at low on the Neos than it is on the CEOs, which is, if I fly a Neo, I usually don't like using auto brakes at all because they engage with such force. They do a really good job of stopping the aircraft, though. Beautiful. The JetBlue livery just looks so graceful, gliding through the air. I mean, maybe it's just the Fenix livery, or maybe it's just the Fenix aircraft that just looks so beautiful gliding through the air, but I think JetBlue, I think the livery just really pops. That's just me. I love all liveries, especially if it's on an Airbus. Alrighty. Wrong button there. Let's go back inside. We're through our transition altitude. 3000 set once, twice, and thrice. Let's go ahead and get the wing light on and check our status messages one last time here. Excellent descent checklist. Altimeters, we have 3000. Auto brake is medium. Proof approach page is set. Arrival briefing is reviewed. The Dealey 3 arrival visual approach backed up with the ILS runway 1. Our status has been checked. Descent checklist is complete. It still has not cooled off in the back. Why do you refuse? Why do you hate me so? All the way cold for you. Just won't understand this. And it could be a Flight Sim 2024 thing. I don't know if this happens in 2020, where the temperature in the aft cabin just goes insane while the rest of the airplane is nice and cool. Yeah, hopefully with the big Fenix update with full compatibility in Flight Sim 2024, that some of the small bugs that we're seeing are fixed. And I wonder if that's what it's taking such a long time for them to roll out the big Fenix update, is because whenever you implement one thing or try to change something or try to port something over to a new flight sim, you're gonna have some bugs here and there, and I wonder if bugs keep cropping up. So they're trying to smash those bugs as best they can. For capping, it's freezing. Aft cabin just right. 77 degrees would be nice and cool compared to the 103. Well, actually, now I'm going to look this up now. Oh, it's not that bad today. Notice I said today. A high of 89 down there in Houston. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. Let's see. No controllers on in DC, at least as of right now. We've met our crossing restriction. It is going to continue to descend down to Dealey. I think it's going to level off at 10,000 at Dealey, so that's perfectly fine with me. Clear day down here in DC. It's an absolutely beautiful day down here in DC. He said, "Yep, nice, clear, cool day." Well, it was showing that it was gonna rain today. Is it gonna? Are you guys looking at some rain down there today? What's the chance of rain? Probability of precipitation 43%. Okay, so it could be some rain, possibly some storms. About a 26% chance of storms. A high UV index right now, so make sure you put some sunblock on. Yeah, you know, I forgot where we were. Oh, it was on vacation. We were on vacation in Cancun, and we ended up running into a really nice person, really nice lady, and she saw that we had Blue Lizard. I don't know anything about Blue Lizard sunblock, but we ran into this lady. She noticed we had Blue Lizard, and she was like, she had to speak up and say she loves that sunblock, and we were like, really? And she was like, yeah, because if you have the one that has the UV cap on it, you can tell if you're getting exposure and that you need to be putting sunblock on. And I didn't realize it, but yes, if you have certain UV, Blue Lizard sunblocks, the cap is a UV cap, and whenever it's exposed to UV, it will start changing color, indicating that, hey, you need to put sunblock on. So that was kind of cool, because even on a cloudy day, you can still get UV exposure. So make sure you go out the house with some sunblock on or cover up, one of the two. Either way, as long as your cover up has UV protection on it, you should be good to go. But yeah, I thought that was always interesting. So now whenever I go out and we have our Blue Lizard, I look at the cap to see if it changes color. Probably a little summer drizzle. Oh, okay, so is it pretty normal for you all? Okay, we did slow up to 250 knots. I'm gonna go ahead and take over the speed now. We can go ahead and activate the approach phase here. Excellent, we'll confirm that. I will go ahead and we can pause our in-flight music here for a little bit. So is it kind of like Florida, where Florida gets like an afternoon thunderstorm every day, down there in the Houston area, or is it very different? Are the cockpit windows UV protected? So it's a little bit of everything, right? So it's a little UV, just a tad bit, and it has some I can't think of the name right now. Polarization is definitely polarized. So that's why a lot of people, they have their preference in sunglasses when we're talking about looking through the windows, because if you get sunglasses that are polarized, it can make it difficult to see through the window, because you'll look through and what you see is a rainbow on the window because you can see the polarization. Or sometimes, depending on how your polarization lines up with the window's polarization, it will blank out everything on the screens, especially. So these displays, and a lot of people don't realize it, most of the displays that you look at are semi-polarized, right? They're all polarized. So your iPad displays are polarized, your TVs are polarized, everything's polarized. And if you put on polarized glasses and they exactly match the polarization of the screen, it can black out that screen, which is why there have been cases, and I've seen it myself, where I put on someone else's polarized sunglasses just so I can see it, is you'll put on the sunglasses, look at the iPad's black. You take the sunglasses off, the screen's there. You put the sunglasses on, the screen's blank. It's because of that polarization is exactly matching each other, so it's blacking out. What light you're getting through is being blacked out. So it's very, 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 very interesting how polarization works there. So we got Andrews coming up right in front of us here. Nope, that's not the button. That's the button. There we go. Andrews coming up right below our nose. This should be Andrews because DC should be right there. There's DC. And I think they keep Air Force One right there. That's where they keep Air Force One. So absolutely fantastic. Do not know why I keep hitting that button. Maybe I should change that viewpoint. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and switch over to CTAF at this time. We're kind of far away, but that's okay. Look at that beautiful arrival. I didn't have to touch the speed brakes once coming in here. All right, let's go ahead and get the replays started, shall we? If I can find... Did I start it? I swear I started it. Okay. I guess I did not. Here we go. And we're recording. Sweet. So we have Tirza at or below 8,000, high tech at 7,000. And then once we cross high tech, what I'll probably do is we'll descend. Or is that high tech? Yeah, high tech. So that's 7,000. We'll descend right on down to probably 3,000 and vector ourselves onto the ILS here. Yeah, 7,000, and then we're going to go down to MIDI. You said, yep, sometimes we get that 1 hour drizzle like Florida. Not all the time, though. Yeah, okay. That's not bad. Sometimes that drizzle is like just enough to cool things off just a little bit. I mean, it's still going to be steamy, but it'll cool things off just a little bit there. Alrighty, excellent. We're about to level off here at 7,000. So we're turning right over high tech now. What I'm going to do is we'll keep that descent going all the way down to 3,000. Open descent. I'll probably do that so I can keep an eye out on. And in fact, I might do... Let's do direct to Katrin, radial in. I'll hold on to that. And we'll head west here, like at 280 here soon. Go ahead and select my heading. And we'll select 280. Yeah, let's go ahead and select 280. Beautiful. Go ahead and slow it up to 210 knots. Optimal for intercepting a localizer here. We go ahead and insert that and pull that. Do not know why you like to do that. There we go. Which one do you think it's more crucial to live in base? For mainline or regional? Both. Let's go ahead and we'll activate that. We'll turn it around to like, okay, it's already capturing the localizer. That's quite all right. Excellent. Flaps 1, speed verified. Arc, 10 nautical miles. We're slowing up to 210 knots. We're still descending down to 3,000 feet. Should be perfectly fine here. Slight overshoot here. DCA traffic. JetBlue 3318 is on a 18-mile final runway 1. DCA traffic. Pretty sure we're not on Unicom. Yep, 19.1. That's what it is. Beautiful. 4 for 3. And slow it up to 190 knots. Should be perfectly fine. No rush to go super fast in there. We're VFEX minus 10. Flaps 2, speed verified. It's still showing a quartering headwind right now, so that's good. We've ran the landing performance assessment for up to a 1 knot tailwind, so even if it does shift around to a tailwind, we should be good. Glide slope slowly coming in. I'm going to slow it up to 170 knots. Glide slope capture, set them as approach altitude 2,200 feet. That's set. It is a little gusty here. And I wouldn't really say gusty, the winds are just not consistent. We're whipping around between quartering headwind, quarter to a direct crosswind now. So, not a very consistent wind, I can tell you that. DCA traffic, JetBlue 3318, 8-mile final, runway 01, DCA traffic. Probably should call it Reagan or National or something like that. That's okay. Alrighty, let's go ahead and manage our speed. Drop the gear. Armor speed brakes. Flaps 3, speed verified. Flaps full, speed verified. Before landing checklist altimeters, we have 3000 and 1640. Engine mode is Norm. Landing gear is down and 3 green, ECAM memo, landing, no blue. Before landing checklist is complete. Is it just me or is the ground speed too low? It's just right. The ground speed is exactly right. What you've probably seen the last few days is an insane headwind, and ground speed mini has been insanely high. But no, the ground speed mini is exactly right. This looks just fine to me. Or are you saying the glide slope too low? Glide slope or ground speed? Glide slope. DCA traffic, JetBlue 3318 is on a 3-mile final runway 01 DCA traffic. Alrighty. Glide slope, yeah. Nope, it looks fine to me, at least for now. So we got a 1,000-foot call out. I'm gonna wait until we get ever so slightly closer. Winds are starting to stabilize out now. Pretty calm, essentially. Light and variable. Autopilot's off. Volume's up. See you on the ground.
500.
So what we're gonna do, we're gonna dip down just a little bit. I want 3 over 1.
100 above.
3 red, 1 right. White. Not right. What I meant.
Minima.
There we go.
Light slope.
Idle.
Light slope.
Flare. Hold.
30.
Hold. Hold.
Retard.
There we go. Deployed. $80. Really? You're gonna give me that right here? 60. Excellent. Manual braking, auto brakes off. We actually made that pretty nicely. Why suddenly am I gonna get here? You're gonna give me that. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and bring up our taxi diagram here so I can actually see where I am. So we're at November 1. We'll take November Juliet Kilo 2. National traffic, JetBlue 3318, clear runway 1 on November 1, taxi in Juliet Kilo 2 to the ramp. National traffic, last call. Alrighty, so we'll make the left-hand turn here. This should be Juliet.
National traffic, District 3409, cross runway 4 in Juliet.
Excellent, let's go ahead and get the APU going. We get the flaps up. Excellent. We get the flight directors off. LS push buttons off. That all looks good. We go down to Kilo 2. It looks like there. Let me get all my lights off.
National traffic, District 3409, departing runway 1. National traffic.
Let's see. Oxygen mask came down. Yeah, that was a nice firm one, but you don't want to mess around, especially 321 Sharklet with a slight tailwind. You do not want to float it too much, because you float it too much, that's the runway behind you is runway you can't use. Let's see. Terminal C? C? Yeah, there we go. Nope. There we go. JetBlue. There we go. And that should be Kilo 2 right here. And there's my purple people, so that's where I know where my gate is. And I'll go ahead and get all of our lights off at this point. See how our brakes are looking. Yeah. Yeah. We could do better. Phoenix, we could do better with the brake simulation there. It's like the second I touch down in DC, my computer's like, oh, no more resources. Oh, come on, don't give me that. Don't give me that. I have 64 gigs of RAM and What does the 4090 have? I think the 4090 has 24 gigs of VRAM. So don't tell me you're out of memory. Beanie Baby Gaming, welcome. How are you doing, good sir? Welcome to the Eagle's Nest. It says do another like this evening, Beanie Baby. Tune in. We'll be doing DC back to Providence on American Airlines A321. So tune in this evening, and you'll definitely be able to see that. And once we get to Providence, there might be a slight tour of something special that might be happening this weekend. Max Racing says, great flight. Thank you very much, Max Racing. You want to go idle at 20 after the call and start the flare at 15. Yeah, no, when you're doing a short field landing technique, you don't there's a whole nother technique involved when you're doing short field landing technique. And you don't want to do that, because you will float that. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. You will float that.
National Travel Straight to the board 09 departing to the west call.
If you haven't put the thrust levers at idle by the time the aircraft says retard, you're already behind the 8 ball. That's it. You're behind the 8 ball. Is it me, or does it sound like there's another airplane beside me? There we go. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and go up. That's not the button I wanted. Let's go up top. Get the fast seatbelt sign off. Go back down to the center pedestal here. We do have the APU up and available to us, so we can shut down engine number 2. And we can also shut down engine number 1. We can go back up to the overhead panel. Get our fuel pumps off. A beacon off. And let's do a final OSO check here. Engine oil looks good. Hydraulics within the fill range. No class 2 status messages. And still 1800 on the PSI for the oxygen shutdown checklist. Parking brake is on and checked. Engine masters are off. Engine mode is norm. Speed brake disarmed. Radar is off. Windshield PWS is off. Our fuel pumps are all off. Slides 8 disarmed. APU is on. Shutdown checklist is complete. We'll go ahead and get the bleed air going on the APU. We can go ahead and say goodbye to all of our passengers. Or none of them. They seem to be invisible right now. There we go. Here they come. I'll turn the volume back down. I'm sure that's very loud. Sorry about that. There we go. Oh, that's the air conditioner for the jet bridge. That's what I was hearing. I don't know if you all can hear that. Like right here, you can hear the air conditioner for the jet bridge. Interesting that that's actually simulated. Beautiful. Let's get our turn music going here. Excellent, excellent, excellent. You flew from Seoul to Atlanta, and my sim crashed 12 hours. Oh my gosh. That is the worst feeling in the world, Beanie Baby Gaming. Absolutely the worst feeling. I've done a few flights like that. On my just flying around for fun. I think I was trying to do like the longest domestic flight in the US, right? Is from Honolulu to Boston. So I was doing a Honolulu to Boston flight on a Hawaiian A330. And literally an hour before landing, the sim just crashed. So that is the most frustrating thing ever. The nice thing is,
Breaking traffic, American 4390 is turning final for runway 1. Breaking.
we'll get rid of that. The nice thing is, oh, let me also stop our replay. The nice thing is, BNB Gaming, the INI A350, I think, has an auto saving feature. So you should be able to reload the sim, get back in the A350, and then click the the state it was in, whatever it was. It should take you back to where the last autosave was, so you don't have to do all that extra work. But it said, and I caused the crash. Oh, you caused the I connected headphones. How did that cause the crash, though? I don't see how that should cause a crash. Just plugged in some headphones. Yeah, I think it's in the airplane somewhere, in the quote unquote tablet for the INI A350. Is a way to go in and load, because I was watching Captain Canada one day, and he was doing a stream in the A350. His sim crashed, and the chat was telling him that he could reload from his point once he rebooted the sim, and that's what he did. He started off exactly where he left off, reconnected to the VATSIM network and everything. So it's in there somewhere. Just had a great landing in Phoenix. Awesome, Ed E. Hopefully you had that butter landing in the Phoenix area. I know Phoenix has a few nice long runways for you to land on, so you can get that nice greaser in there. Awesome. Yeah, glad you were enjoying the Phoenix. Yeah, you flew the Phoenix in the Phoenix. I get it now, Eddie. We just had a nice firm landing here. Everyone's walking out 1 or 2 inches shorter than they walked on the aircraft, but that's okay. Oh, you serious? Were you in the A350? That is insanely random that I mentioned that and it was able to work for you. So is it in the little tablet there, Beanie Baby Gamey? Because I still haven't used it. I was watching Captain Canada one day, and people kept putting it in the chat on the stream, and so I was like, I didn't know that it could do it. I didn't know it could do it. See, there we go. Flight saved. All that work has not gone down the drain for nothing. That is the worst feeling in the world, where you feel like you did everything. You were doing your step climbs. I don't know if you have auto step climbs on. I usually don't turn mine on. So you have to come back and you got to do your auto step climbs and keep planning. Oh, do I have enough fuel? What's the weather doing? Yada yada yada. How many more hours do I have to go? And then 1 hour before landing, sim decides to crash, and you're like, I just spent 12 hours of my Microsoft, fix your sim. Were you watching that stream? That's awesome. Looks like they're done outside. Let's see if they are done inside. Hopefully just a few more people here. Yeah, when you finish that landing there, Beanie Baby Gaming, put it up on your channel so I can go check it out. Been checking out some of your takeoff and landing videos there, so super awesome. Okay, so you're 160 nautical miles from St. Louis. Okay, okay. So you're getting there. What? That's probably what? Just, I mean, are you to the west of St. Louis? I'm guessing. So what? You got about 2.5 hours left to flying. I'm just guessing at this point. Are you gonna? Well. Korean Air doesn't have A350s, do they? I was getting ready to say, are you in the Korean Air A350 or are you in the Delta A350? Which on my last trip, I saw a Korean Air, I don't know what it was. 787, I think. So the Korean Air 787 in the new livery. Not a fan. Not a fan of how the new livery looks in person. Like the simulator, of course you see it in the simulator, and you don't get that metallic reflection that you do in real life. And even in real life, I'm just not impressed. You're in the LA-28 Delta Airlines. Very nice Beanie Baby Gaming. All right, enough of the VATSIM network. We can go ahead and disconnect from there. Thank you for your service of VATSIM. Once our last passengers are off, we'll close up the boarding door, turn the engines on, and get to see in the replays, see how nice and firm this landing was. I really do need to get a landing calculator app, so I mean, it's I really don't care what my landing rates are, but it really is for you all to see and judge. I don't mind being judged. Plus it's great fun. Oh, you said a meteor exploded in the sky at 12:25 and a fireball was reported in the sky. Very interesting. Very interesting, Beanie Baby Gaming. Wow. Let's see. Well, that's a terrible view of it. Never will get pictures of it. There's no real good pictures of it. No one really took a good picture of it, but I was gonna try to bring it up, but nah, that's okay. There's only one picture of it. Everything else seems like just meteor shower at night. No, I don't need AI mode. Turn off. Excellent. We are done deplaning. That is the wrong button. I need to hit this button. Let's go ahead. Oh, finally the brakes get hot. And they didn't even get that hot. That's ridiculous. Alrighty, so we will dismiss that. Let's go ahead and close up the aircraft panel states. We'll go to ready, activate. We'll go ahead and do that. We shall wait for... We'll cool off the brakes because depending on how many times we land, it could be... We could warm up the brakes significantly. They don't cool off that fast, though. Like, they're already 15 degrees cooler, 10 degrees cooler. They don't cool off that fast. That's the thing. With the Fenix simulation of the brake temperature, it warms up super slow and then cools off super fast. So I don't know. It doesn't seem, to me, it doesn't seem realistic, but you know. Alrighty. So the gray box is gone. Brake fans are coming off. I don't care about how hot they are. Let's go ahead and get this replay going. Let's load it up. I am offline. Yes, I am offline. So let's go ahead and hit that play button. Fast forward to final here. There we go. Let's look at this first landing here. Beautiful day down in DCA. Absolutely beautiful day. I love how it's just water, land, runway, right on 1,000 footers. That's pretty much how you do it. Right on the 1,000 footers. I'll take that 10 times out of 10 every single day. Boom. I'll take that every day. Minimal float right on the 1,000 footers. Wowza. It don't get no better than that. That positive contact with the runway. I love that. Positive contact with the runway. And like I said, you could hear me saying what I was thinking out loud in real time, right? All I wanted to do was just hold the attitude exactly where it was all the way on touchdown. A little bit off center line, or a lot bit off center line, but corrected it pretty much right away. I think I like the feel of a 20% curve on the rudders. I don't know. I like the feel of the 20% curve on the rudders. Let's see. I wanted to be over here. Here I am. Excellent. Let's rewind you back there. Positive contact, absolutely beautiful. No wasting time, getting the nose right down on the ground, letting the auto brakes do auto brake things. Absolutely amazing. Am I allowed to connect to VATSIM while in the sky? Yeah, sure, go ahead. I have seen more than one streamer do it. In fact, I've seen streamers log off of VATSIM because it was too busy during like a F&O or something like that. They logged off, went straight to the front of the line, took off, and then while in the air, they took off. Did that not play? Yeah. After they took off, they logged back on to get ATC services. So yeah, you can log back in the air. You had a clearance when you took off, so beautiful landing. Absolutely love it with the DC skyline right there in the background. Absolutely love it. Alrighty, we'll go up to the flight deck. Eddie says looking good. Thank you very much. Eddie will head back inside up to the flight deck for one more replay. I took off offline. Oh, ooh, I don't know. In that case, I am very unsure because I mean, I guess you don't really have a clearance, but out of Seoul, you're not going to have a clearance anyway to take off. So I'm very unsure of that. As long as you filed something online, you should be fine. As long as you file your flight plan online, you should be fine. But let's go ahead and get this last replay look in here of our landing into DC. Be sure to tune in tonight for our return flight up to Providence, the last flight of the week up to Providence, Rhode Island. Really looking forward to seeing you there this evening. Max Racing, Beanie Baby Gaming, Ed E, thank you very much for tuning in, joining the Eagle's Nest, and look forward to seeing you this evening. Until I see you again, please remember to take care of yourselves and each other. Until then, my name is Gray Eagle. Peace.